Alright, it's summer and the 6-meter band is opening up, the magic band. I've had a lot of requests since last year when I posted a video on my 6-meter dipole. I've rebuilt that dipole and made it a little bit more robust, and I'm in the process today writing a PDF document so you can build one yourself, and that should be online by this evening, tomorrow morning at the latest. So here it is. It's packaged in a little molly bag, and the heart of the antenna is that mounting piece right there. Now I made mine so that there is a mount on the top and a mount on the bottom, and I typically will mount this in a BUDDIPOLE mast and tripod, but I put this top mount on because I can put an 18-inch PVC nipple and then mount another antenna on top. Now what I did to make this antenna different than the antenna I made last year is I incorporated these heavier duty whips from BUDDIPOLE. The first ones I did were the lightweight whips, and they were 1/4 inch 20. They were a little floppy on the mount right here, and I didn't like the fact that they started to slip on the crimping, and so I've switched over to these heavy duty masts from BUDDIPOLE, and they really work nicely. Some other refinements I've come up with: a piece of paracord that slips over the top mount, and you can run this out the length of the whip, and at the very end is a bead that allows me to set those whips very quickly to the right length to get on the 6-meter band. Another option that I've made are 2 adapters. All of these are made with PVC fittings. This one threads in the bottom, and if I don't have my BUDDIPOLE mast, this allows me a 1/4 inch 20, so I can mount this on any camera tripod. The other adapter, which gives a lot of flexibility to this connector, is a small fitting that gives me a ring connector that I can hoist this up in a tree, and if I want, I can hook any size wire onto this and stretch it out and have a dipole on any band that I want to cut that wire to, and there's a nice coax fitting on the bottom. So that gives a lot of flexibility, and all of that fits in this little bag. So stay tuned for this, and we'll have a PDF document available for download tonight or tomorrow morning for sure. Well, I checked VHFDX.info, and the 6-meter band is opening up today. I thought I would get this on the air, and I'll certainly will monitor the band today and hopefully get a couple of contacts, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you how quickly this little 6-meter dipole goes together. So the first thing you do is you just thread on those whips, and I'm going to mount it on the BUDDIPOLE mast, but again, you can use any mast that you want, including a camera tripod. The nice thing about using 1/2-inch iron pipe thread is, of course, it mounts on the BUDDIPOLE mast, but I can use that as an adapter for any type of support structure. Now I'm going to take that piece of paracord and I'll loop this on that center post. We'll stretch our antennas out. I already know from doing this that I don't need the last section of this whip, so we'll stretch everything out. And I'll do that on both sides. And I'll stretch this paracord out, and I'll adjust the whip ends to match this bead. This gives me the exact length that we need. So we'll just adjust that whip end, and the same thing on the other side. You can either leave this hanging or take it off, it doesn't matter. Last point is to make the connection on the bottom with the coax cable. And we are good to go. Before I run this up, I want to show you the purpose of this top mount. Again, this is a totally optional component in the assembly instructions, but this gives you the opportunity to mount another antenna on top of this 6-meter dipole. We attended CPAC at the beginning of this month, and I had the great pleasure of meeting Jim from Elk Antennas, and I've wanted one of his antennas for a long time. I was very fortunate that he had one of his black beauties, the log periodic antenna. Now if it's mounted this way with the elements in a vertical polarization, that is for standard FM 2 meter 70 centimeter. But the nice thing that he's done is made the mount swivel, and I can swivel these elements in a horizontal polarization, which is for single sideband on 2 meter and 70 centimeter. Now that's the purpose of this mount on top of this 6-meter dipole, is I've taken a threaded PVC nipple and I can now mount that on top of the dipole, and for VHF contests I now have a very nice arrangement of 6-meter, 2 meter, and 70 centimeter all on one assembly. Now, alright, I'm going to run this mast up and get my radio on the air, and I'll be monitoring the 6-meter magic band today, and hopefully we'll make some long distance QSOs. I had a fun time on the VHF contest held by ARRL a couple of weeks ago and made some long distance contacts, including Georgia, from our home here in Portland, and that's a long haul for a little antenna like this, and I was pretty proud that made that contact on a homemade 6-meter dipole. Alright, hope to catch you guys on the air sometime. 73.